Hello and welcome once again. In this next video, we need to create a new sheet. So I need you to click on the plus here or to insert a sheet, and then we want to rename that sheet and we call it survey, because we want to create a data collection form for a survey. So many times in the organization you might need to collect data in one form or the other, or you might need an electronic form, in other words, to transform some forms that you're already having. It could even be a leave application form that you want to translate from being paper-based and you want to make it electronic so that people can just complete it and email it to you. So I'm going to show you how to create a form that is going to force people only to enter data in the fields where they're supposed to type in. So to keep it simple, we are only going to put a few fields, but those fields are going to help us to demonstrate all the features that we need to show to you. So the first field I need is title. Then I need first name and last name. So when a person types in the title, it does not go here because this is the heading. So they will type in the title here. So meaning that the next heading we put must either be here or there. So I'm going to put next heading there, which is first name. Okay, so let me alter the column widths, and then we put last name here. So the last name will come there. And then on the next line, I would like to put the job title, which will come here. So as you can see, I keep adjusting according to new requirements of new data that I'm putting in. And then we want to demonstrate the validation that we did in the previous sheets. We want to repeat it here as well. So I'm thinking of fields that can help us to do that. Okay, let's say highest qualification. And then I want a field that we can do a range validation. Okay, so I'll say year employed. So I do not want the date, just the year when the person was employed. Okay, so these are the simple fields that we are going to put on our form. You can add more later on. So I want to insert some more rows on top. So I simply highlight here the number of rows I want to insert, then right click and insert. So let's highlight all these cells from here to the end, so that we can merge these cells for our title. So I right click and format cells, alignment, and merge cells. So this is a revision of what we did in previous exercises. So I'm going to type in here Namibia Training Authority. So the reason why I'm typing Namibia Training Authority is because I've got a logo for NTA that I want us to insert. So I'll go to Home and Center, and then change the color of my heading and probably the font and font size. Now, earlier we inserted graphs, but on the insert menu you also have insert pictures and insert online pictures. You can even insert shapes as well. So all these shapes here, you can insert them on your worksheet. So whatever you want to show on the worksheet, if I click that one, for example, and I come here, I simply have to drag the size that I would like to have, and I already have a shape like that. So I've inserted a shape, but I can say insert a picture, then it will ask me to go and look for the picture. It defaults to my pictures folder, but you can go and check in other folders if you want. So my logo is here on the pictures folder. I insert it, then I can drag it wherever I want it to appear, right, on the right or on the left. So this one I can delete it. I simply wanted to demonstrate what we can do. Okay, so to distinguish between our labels and where we are going to type, I'm going to put a shade on the labels. So if I highlight like that, it's going to shade everything, including where I want to type the data, which is not supposed to be shaded. So I'm going to show you another way of highlighting cells at random using the Control key, because the Shift key allows you to highlight a block. So if you press like that and you press Shift and you come and click here, it highlights that block like that. So that's the Shift key. But the Control key, you highlight the first one, hold down Control, you can see that it actually picks at random in no particular order. So what we want to do is only to highlight the places where you have the labels for the fields. So then we come to the field here, and let's look for a nice color like this one, right? So that will be our color. And then I want us to put a border on all the places where we are supposed to type in data. So we hold down Control as well as we click those fields. Then you right click and go to Format Cells. So now we are formatting these cells which we selected at random. Then you go to Border, and we only want an outline on those fields. So you can see that you've got an outline on the field, right? So I'm not very happy with my outline, so I'm going to highlight these fields again, holding down the control key. What I'm not happy with is the fact that the color of the line is very, very pronounced versus the color of my label. So I'm going to change the color and I make it something close to the color of my label, and then I come and say outline like that. So that is now a bit easier on the eyes. Okay, so what I've just done here is to format these cells so that they look something like a form, but I'm still not happy because of the way this looks continuous. So what I need is to create spaces. So the reason why I'm going through this thinking process is because that is what you go through in your workplace. You usually don't just start by coming up with the best design from the word go. You do your skeleton first, you see how it looks, you build it, you break it, you rebuild it. So I'm going to insert a column here. So I say right click and insert. Same thing here, right click and insert. Then I would like to alter these two columns, so I highlight, then press down Control and highlight there, so that when I shift like that, it resizes the two. So now it's looking a bit better, right? It looks a bit better. So the next thing that I would like to do is to put sort of a boundary around my form. So I highlight that up to there, and then right click and go to format cells, and then on the borders I simply put an outline. So that outline I can put it in black or I can put it in another color. It's all up to me, right? So this is how my form is looking like now. But as you can see, a person can just click anywhere and even overwrite that information there. It's not yet a form as it is, because people can play around with it whichever way. So we are going to use the concept of protecting your worksheet, right? In other words, to block certain fields from editing. So what we need to do is to select those fields, the only ones where we want people to be able to type in. So I'm selecting while I'm pressing down the control key, right? While I'm pressing down the control key, and then you right click and go to format cells. Then there is this page that says protection. So by default, all the fields have this locked ticked, right? So we untick it so that when we turn on the worksheet protection, these fields we selected are not locked, because by default all of the fields are locked if you turn on protection. So we have simply unprotected just these 6 fields there. So we say okay. So the next thing we need to do is to now apply the lock on this sheet alone. So we go to review and then we say protect sheet, right? Review and protect sheet. Then the password for protecting the sheet, we can put a password or just leave it. So for now, let's do with the password 123, and then it says what do you want to allow the users to do. Select locked cells. No, I do not want them to select locked cells. So when you say allow them to select, it means they can click anywhere, including where it's locked, but we don't want them to click anyway. We only want them to click where it is unlocked. And then formatting cells, formatting columns, it means they can change the format, the arrangement, but we do not want them to change anything. We just want them to type in data. So the only thing they should be able to do is just select the cells that are unlocked. So we say OK, and it asks us to re-enter the password 123, and we say OK. So you can see now that our cursor is now on title. If I try to click anywhere else here, it will not let me. So you can now start typing, and when you press enter or tab, it only jumps to the places where it is not locked. Right, so now you have a form that people can actually complete, and they cannot mess up with the structure of the form because it is logged. So in the next video, I'm going to show you now how to put validation on these fields so that people don't type in junk information. So I would like to encourage you to work on this structure so far before you go to the next video, so that when you do the next video, you already have this form exactly as it is. So you don't have to worry about the logo for that one, but if you go to the internet, you can actually look for NTA website, and you can simply copy the logo from there, because that is where I copied this logo from the website. So I'll see you in the next video.